We welcome in Senator Bill Cassidy, the senior senator from the great state of Louisiana. Senator, I apologize for my poor time management skills.
No problem at all. You got some good advertising, man. Your ratings are up.
Well, I hope so. That's, business of America is business. So, Dr. / Kennedy / Mr. Dr. / Senator / Mr. Cassidy, because you got 3 titles. Tell me about Brett Kavanaugh, about the vote Mitch McConnell talked about yesterday, and your feelings about this whole thing.
Yeah, so it comes down to 2 minutes in time. There's somebody who alleges that something happened, and there's 4 other people whom she names as being there who have no recall. Mm-hmm. Now, in one sense, you're trying to prove a negative. But the reality is, in our system, in our system of fairness, you can't just make an allegation, or you have to have some sort of corroboration. All 4 people whom she says were there says they either don't recall or that it did not happen. Now, we're having the FBI go and speak to folks, and they will again take testimony under oath, just like the current testimony has been taken under penalty of felony. And so I think what we'll find is the FBI will find what everybody else has already found. The 4 people whom she names either say they don't remember or it definitely did not happen. At which point, I think, unless we're going to let people's careers be destroyed by a single allegation with no corroboration, that Kavanaugh will get confirmed.
And just to be clear, the FBI is going to tell you, I don't know if the committee gets it or the entire Senate gets it, we interviewed them, they didn't know this. We interviewed them, they did know this. We interviewed them, they did that. And I heard a comparison about the problem is not if you had 9 beers. The problem is if you said you had 9, somebody else says you had 18, somebody else says you had 36. All they're looking for is for the information to jive to see if everybody's telling the truth, right?
Well, so, for example, absolutely. And they will compare one person's testimony to another. So if somebody says they used a cell phone in 1982, but cell phones were not invented until 1984, obviously that's a discrepancy which has to be worked out. And so you need to kind of delve deeply into it and say, okay, wait a second, this and this and this, how does it jive? So there is a little bit of probing that absolutely takes place, but ultimately they do not form conclusions. They give the information to the Senate, and the Senate concludes.
From what you hear, Senator, nothing happens in a vacuum. Do you think this is a done deal unless there's something egregious in the FBI report?
I cannot speak for Murkowski, Collins, Manchin, Donnelly, or Flake. But at some point, you've got to decide, can we destroy a person's career by an uncorroborated allegation? If we can, then, frankly, everybody's career is at stake. And I would think that if the FBI comes back, as I expect they will, in agreement with the testimony which has already been given under penalty of felony, that we will end up voting yes. But I can't swear by that.
Very quickly, the work of the Senate goes on. Everything keeps happening in Washington, although this has grasped the attention of the nation. What about this duplication of benefits thing you're working on?
Totally. The great floods of 2016, which affected all the way in South Louisiana from Tangipahoa through the Capital Region to Vermilion Parish, in which tens of thousands of people lost their homes. Those folks who applied for an SBA loan because they were told to apply for an SBA loan then found they were not eligible for a Restore Louisiana grant. So you did the right thing, but then you're not available for a grant. We've actually addressed that in this legislation. I've been working hard for 2 years to get this done. And in this bill that we're about to pass, that duplication of benefits issue will be resolved. And even if you got an SBA, you'll still be eligible for a Restore Louisiana grant.
Let me throw this question at you real quick since we have time. At what point with Judge Kavanaugh does it become not about sexual assault, but about perhaps him being misleading about his drinking? And if that's the case, what does that say about his seat on the court as it stands now? And I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just asking with whatever comes up with the investigation.
I'm a liver doctor, as you may know.
Yeah.
And the old saying about when you talk to people about alcohol, it's in the eye of the beholder. And everybody always assumes that whatever they drink is a moderate amount of alcohol. Mm-hmm. So you have to move beyond subjectivity. Is this just my interpretation as to whether or not somebody drinks more than I think they should or whether they do? If you look at the average 20-year-old in college, he or she drinks more than they would when they were 50. So I'm not, and in retrospect, you may judge it differently than you did when you were 20. So I guess I'm very leery about subjective analysis of saying, oh, I got you, because subjectively I think that you're not telling the truth.
Interesting to get the medical perspective, Senator.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. You have a good day.
You too, Tommy.
The senior senator from Louisiana, Bill Cassidy.